It's time for Around the Ozarks in 5, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service, Blue Current, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Hey, good morning to you on Thursday. We are back. Happy to be back. Thankful for Diana for filling in. And as we do, we'll start with news. National authorities say they made a big arrest in Branson. 72-year-old man who had been wanted since 2000 was picked up on charges of being a serial child rapist. U.S. Marshals arrested Herman Carroll, who disappeared in 2001 when he didn't show up for a court date. He has child sex crimes against him dating back to 1983. Wow. Meanwhile, a now former teacher in Nixa is also without a job, also for sex crimes against a student. 34-year-old Chelsea Harper is charged with 9 counts of sexual contact and other things with a student. Harper worked as a paraprofessional when those incidents took place. She has been fired from Nixa.
All right, switching gears now. Mark your calendars for June 27th. That is the first presidential debate for the 2024 election. President Joe Biden head-to-head with former President Donald Trump at 8 p.m. It will air on CNN. Again, that's June 27th. There will not be a live audience. They have not yet said who is moderating it, so that will be interesting to hear. Also, they have agreed to a second debate happening on September 10th, and that one will be on ABC. Another long and popular bridge was hit by yet another barge, this time in Galveston, Texas. A portion of that bridge collapsed. We should learn today what caused the incident. Of course, it is under investigation. No one was injured yesterday. We do know that it caused an oil spill nearby, which crews are working to contain.
Man.
I know, because it affects shipping and all the things for everybody. Yes.
What are the odds? Okay, back here locally, Shirley, you've been to Buc-ees by now. You've heard of Buc-ees up on Interstate 44. Now, let us introduce to you Barkeys. Barkeys.
This is crazy. By the way, so the Springfield Business Journal interviewed the guy, the entrepreneur guy, and apparently he's already gotten an attorney involved who does not feel like Barkeys will be a legal problem for him being so close to Buc-ees, the name.
Well, it's interesting to me that he says he's trying to
capitalize. Yeah.
Capitalize on the popularity.
Which, why not? Why not? Why would you not? He's probably a super smart businessman, you know?
Yeah. Well, at any rate, here's what it is. It's going to be a dog park opened by a local guy this June. It's along Interstate 44, not too far away from Buc-ees. The developer says he's trying to capitalize on the success of Buc-ees, cater to travelers, their children, and especially those with dogs. Barkeys would be at 140 York Drive in Marshfield. Plans to open on June 15th. It would include a dog park, coffee shop that has food, along with a miniature city for kids to play in. So it's a one-stop shop if you're not looking for a brisket sandwich.
Yeah, why not, right? Why not? Because a lot of people travel with their pets. There was a story.
That's true.
Probably like a year ago about how more and more hotels are allowing pets, like being pet friendly because so many more people are traveling with animals. So kudos to this guy. So Barkeys, hoping to open next to Buc-ees or like 15 miles down the road. All right. Multiple major U.S. airlines are suing the Department of Transportation over a new rule that requires them to disclose fees. The new rule would require all airlines to disclose service fees alongside airfare. So, of course, that means the price that shows up for you and me would be higher if they had to disclose all the fees. The airlines said, quote, "The Fed's attempt to regulate private business operations in a thriving marketplace is beyond its authority." So we'll keep you posted on how that turns out.
Well, we just went through this with Airbnb. It's the same thing. We you see a price for Airbnb and you think that's your price, and then you get to the end, and there's at least another $100 added on with all of the fees,
Yes.
which are maddening.
Yeah. So that literally happened to us yesterday. And let the good people of the Ozarks know, it's interesting because you can actually toggle a button on Airbnb that says like include the taxes. And we had that turned on, but yet still there is all these added fees after you go to check out. That was more than $100 than what we were anticipating paying. So
yeah, I mean, it takes the price that they show, and it becomes not nearly as good a price. So
Right.
it is maddening when that happens. That said, I prefer less government intrusion personally in business. So I
well,
feel
so
like
do they, but it's going to be interesting
so does who?
because it's
So does who? The government?
the airlines. The
Well, yeah,
airlines.
so do they. Right. So I see their
But I
point.
mean, my point is that the DOT is trying to like make it not so that you would see, oh, this Airbnb is
Correct.
only $88 a night. That's not too bad to sleep a family of 5. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, just kidding. It's actually $188 or whatever it was. So
Yeah, I get that. The government is for more government intrusion.
well, yeah, I mean,
I am in general for less. So while it is a pain in the rear end to find out at the end you owe all these extra fees, I feel like the marketplace should work itself out on that personally.
okay.
Is this my read? Yeah, it is. A ride to remember last night in the Ozarks. A group of bicyclists took part in what they called a ride of silence to honor bicyclists who have lost their lives in bike crashes. The group rode 12 miles, called out the names of those who lost their lives at each location where it happened. Of course, they're reminding drivers to be extra alert this time of year when there are more bicyclists and motorcyclists out on the roads trying to enjoy the nice weather. So that kind of snaked all the way through Springfield and the area, and as a way for bicyclists to remember fallen bicyclists.
Yes. All right. This is kind of a cool story from Silver Dollar City. A woman who battled severe cancer is now on the mend and getting to go to work at her dream job, which is at SDC. Deborah Krosky had stage 4 metastatic breast cancer in 2005. Doctors say she'd be lucky to survive for very long, but now almost 20 years after that, she's doing well. And Silver Dollar City, she says, feels like the perfect cup of nostalgia for her. She's always wanted to be a wood carver there. And that's exactly what she is doing. Both of her parents died while she was younger. And she said SDC always felt just like a safe haven throughout her life. And so she's very excited to have an extended family there in Branson. So that's really cool. Yes.
Yeah, good for her. Man, oh man, to be given basically a death sentence and then to be still going strong 20 years later is remarkable. Man.
It is. All right. And then we're going to end with this one. It is our neighbor's favorite place. We still have not been there, or at least I have not. Have you been to Corner 21?
Yes, I have.
You have? Okay.
Yeah, the boy and I went.
And what'd you think?
It was very good. Yeah, it's great.
Well, it must be good because they are opening location number 2 in Springfield. If you are familiar with East Republic Road, right across the street from the YMCA, there used to be a little restaurant called Sugar Fire Smokehouse.
Right.
They closed down. Now Corner 21 is moving in. They are in the process right now, and they are hoping to open their second Chinese food location later this summer. So soon and very soon.
They've got a very loyal clientele. I know at the one on Sunshine, and that'll probably translate to the one down on Republic Road here soon. It's very good food. It's authentic Chinese. It ain't cheap. I'll tell you that much.
Nowhere is anymore, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, it seems like nothing is. But
yeah.
I think I just got a dinner for the boy, and it was, I think, almost $20, maybe more.
Woo!
I know.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, our neighbors love it so much, and so I am excited to try it.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're opening a second location, you're doing something right.
That's right.
So,
yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us. Again, thanks to Diana and company for filling in for us, and we will see you back here tomorrow morning.
Bright and early. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to your Thursday. It's May 16th, and we are starting the day with temperatures in the 60s, and we had some rain and storm activity on the radar overnight. Hopefully that didn't keep you up too much late last night with some of the thunderstorms out there, but additional thunderstorms are possible through the morning. Morning commute may be a wet one, and there's even a small chance that some of these storms could be on the strong side. Gusty winds and hail to the size of quarters. Those are the concerns as we head into the rest of the day on your Thursday. We are mentioned in a marginal threat for severe weather. So it doesn't mean that every storm on the radar is going to reach severe limits. But what it does mean is that severe storms are possible today. And again, I think the biggest risks here are going to be for hail and high wind. Rain returns though, and that's a headline. It's not going anywhere for us until we get to Thursday. Not to say we won't have dry time today. I think we have a good stretch of dry time in the forecast that mainly happens through the mid-morning and early afternoon hours. Additional isolated thunderstorms are possible this afternoon, and those also have a chance to being a bit on the strong side. But showers and thunderstorms are in the forecast today, and that's going to limit our high temperature a bit. It's a widespread area today, expecting some rain and thunderstorm activity. But the real focus of the heavy downpours, the flash flooding threat is well to our southwest for portions of East Texas. That's also where the greater risk of severe weather is today, and that extends up into portions of southern Oklahoma. A few strong storms are possible, as I mentioned, and localized flooding has been on our minds the last couple of weeks. We've been oversaturated with round after round of rainfall in the forecast. And of course, this one's adding to in the rain gauge. Some nice rainfall totals from the overnight hours. In fact, near an inch reported west of the Springfield area. I think by the time we add up all these totals, I'm expecting an inch and a half. That's through tomorrow with some of the rain chances that do exist. So showers and thunderstorms, they continue through Friday. I have additional chances for rainfall of about an inch. That's on top of what we've already seen. There will be a risk for some localized flooding. I think that primarily is going to exist out west along I-49. That's where totals are amounting to 2 or 3 inches when you add up what happened last night, the rest of this afternoon, and then Friday's activity as well. But again, a widespread soaking downpour. This is going to mean that some of our area water levels are going to be high as we head into the weekend. Speaking of the weekend temperatures, they look nice. We'll be back into the 80s and we'll have some dry time. So I think a lot of folks will want to do some outdoor activities in the Ozarks. We have near record breaking heat in the forecast by Monday. It is going to be nice and toasty around the Ozarks by the time we get to early next week. In fact, we'll push 90 as early as Monday. So a little heat wave for us here in the middle part of the country too. As I mentioned, temperatures this morning are starting out in the low 60s for us in Springfield. High temp today, about 75 degrees. There will be a few folks that make it to the low 80s, and that's if you get a lot of dry time through the middle of the day. Sun may come back out as we head into the afternoon hours. It'll lead to some afternoon heating. That could spark some of those isolated strong thunderstorms again, and then we should see rain again in the forecast, perhaps morning rain again on Friday with temperatures that are limited into the upper 60s. By Saturday and Sunday, though, we're off back into the 80s. I can't completely rule out isolated storms through the weekend, but I don't think that's anything to cancel plans over. I'm talking like a 10% chance for rain, both Saturday and Sunday. It's just mainly going to be those summertime pop-up style thunderstorms. Around the country, what's making headline, hazardous heat for portions of South Florida and South Texas. They are getting summer started early down south. We also have flash flooding for portions of East Texas and portions of Louisiana today. In fact, the Gulf Coast going to see some strong to severe thunderstorms. That is actually going to last into Friday of this week. So keep in mind, there's still going to be the opportunity for some widespread severe weather in the country, most of that focused on the Gulf states. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister trivia question for the day. This one has to do with the Grand Slams. It's the question that I left you with yesterday. In tennis, which Grand Slam event starts in late May? The options were A, the Australian Open, B, the French Open, C, Wimbledon, or D, US Open. And the answer is B, the French Open. That's what begins May 20th and runs through June 9th. All you tennis fans are well aware of that. It is one of the 4 Grand Slams. So all eyes on France and Paris for the French Open. All right, here's the next question. This is the one I'll leave you with for tomorrow. What is the name of the pet dinosaur on the TV cartoon The Flintstones? Do you think it is A, Arlo, B, Dino, C, Fred, or D, Daniel? Let me know your guess. You can do that at aroundtheozarks.com. Thank you so much to our sponsors, Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing. Everybody plan a few extra minutes this morning on that morning drive. We've got some thunderstorms out there, localized flash flooding possible. And this morning round may not be it. We get a bit of a lull in the afternoon. Redevelopment happens by the time we get to later today. Isolated storms still in the forecast. So have the rain gear with you. I'm meteorologist Abby Dyer. Thanks to Rescue Towing and Scooters Coffee for sponsoring the podcast. And thank you for listening. We'll chat again early Friday morning. Talk rain chances again to wrap up the week.